Heavy snow and ice have hit North America, a massive winter storm.
Insult to injury, round two of back-to-back winter storms right now rolling through.
You think your winters are bad? There are parts of America where the snow doesn't take a break for months, where roofs cave in and hardware stores sell snow shovels year-round. These are the places blizzards hit again and again. And chances are, one of them is closer to you than you'd like. South Bend, Indiana. Most people know South Bend for Notre Dame football. What they don't advertise is 62 inches of snow a year. Over 5 feet dumped onto a flat Midwest city with nowhere to hide. South Bend sits directly in the crosshairs of Lake Michigan's lake effect snow machine. Cold air sweeps across the lake, loads up with moisture, and the moment it hits land, it unloads everything on South Bend, again and again. The record single season hit 136 inches, 11 feet in one winter. Schools close, roads vanish, and somehow 100,000 people just keep living here. Picture this. It's November. You think you've got time. Then you wake up and your street is a white wall. The forecast says lake effect warning through Sunday. It's Tuesday. Welcome to South Bend. And this is only number 10. Duluth, Minnesota. Duluth doesn't get blizzards. It gets personally attacked by winter. The city averages 83 inches of snow a year, but the snow is almost secondary. The real weapon is wind. Sitting at the western tip of Lake Superior, Duluth becomes a wind tunnel every year. Wind chills regularly hit -40. Not air temperature, feels like. Your face feels it immediately. Single storms have dumped over 30 inches at once. In 2020, a blizzard shut down Interstate 35, the main road in and out, for 2 full days. And Duluth is built on a steep hill. Roads don't just get slippery, they become luge tracks with traffic lights. Commuters vanish behind walls of snow, driveways disappear, dogs refuse to leave the house. Duluth residents don't panic, they've stopped feeling anything at all. And if Duluth sounds brutal, the Midwest has only just begun. Worcester, Massachusetts. New England winters have a reputation. Worcester takes it personally. With nearly 67 inches of snow per year, it's the snowiest major city in New England, beating Boston, beating Providence, beating every place that looks picturesque but escapes real consequences. The reason? Geography. Worcester sits higher than the coast, far enough inland to lose the ocean's moderating effect, but close enough to catch every nor'easter rolling up the Atlantic. These aren't small snowstorms. These are full systems, high winds, whiteout conditions, 2 to 3 feet of snow in under 24 hours. In 2015, Worcester was buried under 140 inches in one winter. Snow had to be trucked from downtown to city outskirts, and the cold never quits. Days below freezing keep snow from melting, leaving streets gray, compacted, and oppressive. A storm ends for a few hours. You dig your car out, return inside. You step out again, and it's buried. Boston gets the headlines. Worcester gets the snow. Marquette, Michigan. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. So disconnected from the rest of Michigan that locals call downstate residents trolls because they live under the bridge. Marquette averages 141 inches of snow a year, nearly 12 feet. Not a record, not a freak season, just a normal winter. Lake Superior is the culprit. Arctic air sweeps across hundreds of miles of open water, loads up with moisture, and crashes into the Upper Peninsula like it has a personal vendetta. The lake stays open deep into winter, meaning the snow machine runs from early winter into spring. Single storms have dumped over 40 inches at once. Residents measure snow in feet, not inches. Schools rarely close, businesses stay open, and people shovel roofs, not just driveways, because snow load can collapse buildings. That's routine, not drama. By mid-October, 2 feet of snow on the ground is normal. Neighbors are already on roofs with snow shovels. Marquette doesn't break people, it toughens them up. And if 141 inches sounds extreme, this is just the warm-up. Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie isn't famous. Meteorologists study it because it's a perfect storm factory. The city averages 104 inches of snow a year, but the real headline is December 2017. 65 inches in 7 days. Over 5 feet of snow in 1 week, breaking every record in city history and making national news. Erie sits on the southern shore of Lake Erie, which is shallow. Shallow water freezes faster, which should reduce lake effect snow. Except Erie gets hammered before the lake freezes, in the brutal November to January window when open water meets Arctic air. The result? Snow piles up before winter even hits its stride. Then the lake freezes, offering only a brief 2-week break before the next system rolls in. The city sits in a geographic bowl, trapping cold air and funneling snow bands directly over Erie like a target. Radar can show the snow machine lock on and stay there for days. Forecasts change fast. Monday, 6 to 10 inches. Tuesday, more. Wednesday, the governor declares a state of emergency. Thursday, your front door opens into a wall of white. Erie residents have a saying: if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. In December, it's simpler. It's going to snow. Always. Rochester, New York. Rochester holds a title most cities would quietly refuse. It's consistently ranked the cloudiest major city in the U.S. Not snowiest, we'll get there, but cloudiest. The city averages just 54 sunny days per year. The other 311 days, the sky is gray, overcast, and usually plotting snow. Average snowfall, 89 inches per year. The story isn't the totals, it's the relentlessness. Rochester doesn't get 1 or 2 big storms. It gets hit repeatedly from November through March, with lake effect bands rolling off Lake Ontario like conveyor belts that never stop. Sometimes it's small, 8 inches overnight, 3 inches the next day, 6 more the day after. No single storm makes headlines, but by February, you've had 4 feet of snow and seen the sun just 11 times. And something inside quietly breaks. The blizzard of 1966 buried Rochester under 40 inches in 2 days, shutting the city down completely. More recently, back-to-back lake effect events dropped over 50 inches in a single week. Rochester handles it. The city spends over $10 million annually on snow removal. But handling it isn't the same as enjoying it. It's February. Direct sunlight hasn't touched the city in 3 weeks. Snow falls again, casually, as if it lives there. A coworker mentions moving to Arizona. You don't laugh. You ask for their realtor's number. Rochester doesn't break you with one storm. It breaks you slowly, gray day by gray day, until spring feels like a rumor someone made up. Buffalo, New York. Buffalo doesn't need an introduction. It is the introduction. When Americans think blizzard, they think Buffalo, and the reputation is earned. The city averages 92 inches of snow per year, but averages don't tell the real story. November 2022. A historic lake effect blizzard dumped 6 feet of snow in less than 72 hours. Wind gusts hit 70 miles per hour. Visibility dropped to 0. People abandoned cars on highways and walked home in whiteout conditions. 47 people died, and the National Guard was deployed. When it ended, Buffalo dug out, complained briefly, and got back to business. That's Buffalo. The city sits at the eastern end of Lake Erie, making it a direct target for every snowband rolling off open water. Geography is merciless. No buffer, no elevation change, no natural break. The snow just arrives, and fast. Lake effect storms here are dangerously localized. One side of the city, buried. 2 blocks over, nothing. Streets can divide a foot from 6 feet of snow. The National Weather Service even has a dedicated Buffalo forecast office just to track lake effect systems. That's how serious it is. Thursday night, the forecast flashes historic and unprecedented. Travel bans hit Erie County. By morning, your second floor window may be the only one visible. Buffalo has been burying and digging out for over a century. Unlike other cities, Buffalo stopped being surprised. Storm comes, Buffalo shovels. That's the deal. But even Buffalo can't touch what's coming next. Anchorage, Alaska. At this point, the list stops feeling like a weather report and starts feeling like a survival briefing. Anchorage averages 73 inches of snow per year, modest compared to Buffalo or Marquette. But snow alone doesn't capture winter here. The real problem is everything that comes with it. Temperatures dropping to -20, darkness that shrinks December to just 5 hours of daylight, and blizzards that don't just bury roads. They shut down the only highway connecting the city to the rest of Alaska for days. Anchorage is a city of 300,000 in a bowl surrounded by mountains, ocean, and wilderness. When a storm hits, there's no next city to escape to. There's Anchorage, the storm, and one of them will wait the other out. Storms arrive from the Bering Sea and Gulf of Alaska. Massive Pacific systems building over thousands of miles of open water before slamming into the city. In 2012, a catastrophic blizzard brought 60-foot waves and 100-mile-per-hour winds, shutting roads, cutting power, and isolating communities, all treated by residents like an inconvenient Tuesday. Add Turn-Again Arm, a narrow inlet that funnels water winds straight into the city. Gusts regularly exceed 100 miles per hour. The combination of snow, wind, darkness, and isolation makes Anchorage blizzards a completely different level of danger. By 3 p.m., it's pitch black. Storm warnings are in effect. The Chugach Mountains vanish behind whiteout winds. Temperatures plunge past -18. Roads are impassable. Power may fail. Food and fuel become lifelines. Anchorage doesn't just survive blizzards, it absorbs them. And somehow, the top 2 cities on this list make Anchorage look mild. Syracuse, New York. If Buffalo is the face of American blizzards, Syracuse is the engine running quietly behind it. The city averages 128 inches of snow per year, over 10 feet, in a mid-sized city of 150,000 people who have collectively decided this is simply how life works. Syracuse holds the record for the snowiest major city in the continental U.S. Not a fluke, not a record year, a decades-long, meteorologically undeniable reality. The culprit is Lake Ontario. Syracuse sits in the lake's primary snowbelt corridor, the sweet spot where lake effect bands organize, intensify, and park for hours or even days. When conditions align, Syracuse doesn't get a snowstorm. It gets a snow event, a sustained, visibility-destroying wall of white that can drop 3 to 4 feet in a single system. The blizzard of 1993 dropped 43 inches in one storm. The 1992-1993 winter buried the city under 192 inches, nearly 16 feet. Road crews ran shifts around the clock. Snow storage sites filled up entirely. From November through March, Syracuse essentially operated in a permanent state of controlled emergency. Then, summer came. Then, November came again, and it started over. What makes Syracuse brutal isn't just volume, it's consistency. No light winters, no breaks. Every year the snow comes, 100 inches minimum, often much more. Snow removal costs $14 million annually, with over 50 plows deployed simultaneously during major events. Schools rarely close, because if they did every time it snowed, children would never get an education. By mid-January, the city has already seen 90 inches, and winter is far from over. A new lake effect warning hits, another 18 to 24 inches expected overnight. Residents don't panic. They don't react. They make sure their gas tanks are full and get on with life. In Syracuse, snow isn't an event. It's the baseline. Everything else is just weather. And if Syracuse is number 2, you already know what's coming. The one place in America where 128 inches a year would be considered mild. Valdez, Alaskas. This is where the list ends and disbelief begins. Valdez averages 279 inches of snow per year, over 23 feet. To put that in perspective, stacking the annual snowfall of South Bend, Duluth, and Worcester together still wouldn't match one winter in Valdez. It's not just the snowiest city in America, it's one of the snowiest inhabited places on the planet. And roughly 4,000 people live there by choice. The geography is almost cartoonishly perfect. Valdez sits at the head of a fjord in south-central Alaska, surrounded by the Chugach Mountains on 3 sides. Storm systems from the Gulf of Alaska hit the mountains, rise, cool, condense, and dump everything they carry directly onto the city. There's no escape. Valdez is the drain at the bottom of the funnel. The record single-season snowfall is 560 inches, nearly 47 feet in one winter. Buildings have steep roofs to shed snow. Avalanche paths are mapped. The Richardson Highway, the only road in or out, closes regularly, sometimes for days, until the Alaska Department of Transportation says it's safe. No alternate routes exist. One road in, one road out. Sometimes neither is available. Residents measure winter in snowpack, not months. They track avalanche forecasts like Americans track traffic. Homes, schedules, and lives are built around the assumption that snow can arrive anytime, and it will be serious. The record single storm total was 47.5 inches in 24 hours. Nearly 4 feet in one day. Not a season, a day. In February, snowbanks tower higher than houses. Mountains are white from base to summit, loaded with unstable snowpack. Storm warnings arrive constantly, promising another 30 to 40 inches in 48 hours. Roofs cleared yesterday need cleaning again tomorrow. Roads close. There's nowhere to be and nowhere to go. Every other city on this list gets blizzards. Valdez gets buried. Repeatedly. Relentlessly. All winter long. When spring finally comes, the snow melts, the road reopens, and the sun returns. Residents look at each other and decide to stay. This is home. Winter is just the price of admission. Every city on this list doesn't wait for permission to survive. Valdez, Buffalo, Rochester, the Upper Peninsula, they negotiate with winter. And winter never blinks first. So when your town shuts down for a few inches, remember, somewhere a school bus is running, a roof is being shoveled, and in Valdez, it's already snowing again. Winter never stops there, and it never will.